Denji has finally achieved a genuine relationship. A girl that has fallen in love with him for real this time until...
Are you serious right now, bro?
Yep. We all know that when Denji gets a kiss, something bad is about to happen and nothing has changed. He lost his girl on Valentine's Day. The reason? Well, he only happens to have Makima's new reincarnation in his house who treats him like property. Denji's decision to go on a date with Asa was for him to build up a genuine relationship for once, as he became emotionally mature and started thinking about the consequences of his decisions. That's why he warned Asa that if they don't follow the house rules, they will end up dead, which leads to the moment of her becoming a dog. Nayuta laughs at his new girlfriend barking, but just like the control devil's true nature, she manipulates Denji into heeding her commands to return Asa back to normal. Denji's nightmare repeats. Every woman you meet tries to kill you, right? What makes you think this dog is any different? Yoru, the War Devil, is keen on turning Denji into a sword, but the only way she can use her power is if she or Asa believe the other person is theirs. It was pretty easy to do this, just ask Denji out on a date and make him their boyfriend and voila! New weapon with formidable strength acquired. But reality is quite often different. The date was a total failure because Asa has negative riz. Didn't even want to go spend $10 to go to the cinema. Moreover, Yoru and Asa also mistook Denji's kindness as something more. That's right, in an unexpected turn of events, Asa fell in love with Denji because of the way he treated her despite being a magnet for trouble. Having seen much worse, Denji clearly has a soft spot for Asa. He looks past her messy situations and understands that she's trying her best. In fact, he sees his past self-reflecting in her, just an immature and inexperienced person, which is why he asked Asa on another date. He had also correctly guessed that Asa liked him, even though she denies such a thing. However, Denji's feelings towards Asa are a slippery slope. Remember guys, Chainsaw Man eating parts of the War Devil back in the past is the reason why it is now very weak compared to the other horsemen. Yoru herself admits so in chapter 112 that she couldn't even beat Yuko, which is why in chapter 120 Nayuta interrupts Yoru's makeout session and no-diffs her with ease. All Yoru wanted was some Netflix and chill. Come on.
Come here, baby.
This puts into perspective how much weaker being devoured by Pochita's Chainsaw Man makes you, regardless if you're one of the four horsemen or not. Currently, even Denji from the first arc would be a tough opponent for Yoru's power level. This is why Yoru wants nothing more than owning a broken weapon. But what's crazy is that Asa has resolved to provide such a weapon for Yoru so that she can stop dragging people down with her. However, Denji not having any romantic feelings for Asa is a detriment to her true plan. Therefore, Nayuta and Yoru's powers both work in a way where Denji has to be viewed as property and they need genuine love from it. For example, being the control devil completely opposes the very emotion of love. There's always a trade-off between love and control that a person has to consider whilst establishing a relationship with any person. Every relationship is based on compromise, so love means giving up part of the control on the many factors that influence your life. Nayuta's previous reincarnation, Makima, did want deep and real affection, but she had never received it as Pochita stated. That is because to love someone, you have to let them be your equal. But in Makima's world, someone was her inferior from the get-go. And if they weren't, well, she'd make sure they would be one way or another through fear. That being said, Nayuta is aware that something is fishy going on. And, you guessed it, it's that pum-pum Asa has.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Instead of seeing red flags, Denji went into an existential crisis about Asa using him even though she didn't like him. He even wonders if Asa hates him because of how he smells. But Nayuta's reply to his question about wet dogs not being a bad smell as well as her protectiveness over Denji truly shows us how different she is from Makima. Nayuta looks up to Denji and sees him as more than just an object to control. She truly cares about him like a brother and feels a strong sense of protectiveness towards him. Even though she is the control devil, she clearly has a genuine affection for Denji, unlike Makima, who was just a fan of Chainsaw Man. In the same vein, this chapter is a nod to how Nayuta is the opposite because of how apparent Denji's character growth is with her. Even when she claims that Denji is her property, he stands up for himself and says that he is his own. Unlike with Makima, where he didn't know boundaries and woofed, opened the door for power to die, and so much more. Denji chooses what he can sacrifice sacrifice for providing Nayuta with a normal life. To him, Nayuta comes first, not out of compulsion, but out of choice. This is a major step in Nayuta's upbringing because, as Pochita said, Makima craved love and affection but couldn't attain it. Thus, Denji is creating a world Pochita told him to, by raising Nayuta lovingly to highlight how different the control devil can be, as she's smitten with Denji to the point that even her mannerisms are similar to his, like her laugh. In fact, these plants give us a massive insight into Denji and Nayuta's dynamic. Whilst at first glance it seems that Nayuta's plant is dead because she doesn't care for it like Denji does, it's actually the opposite. These plants are aloe vera, and overwatering can cause them to wilt, which is what Nayuta's has done. She clearly cares about people and things around her, whilst Makima saw everyone and everything as a tool for her ideological belief to gain peace through tyranny. But coming back to Asa, Nayuta immediately sensed the war devil in her, even if she doesn't know it yet. This might be linked to her past self's subconscious memories and two of the horsemen's general dislikes towards each other. We saw the same disdain from Yoru for Fami in chapter 113, even though Fami claimed to be her older sister. Whilst Nayuta didn't trap Yoru like Fami did, she did the next best thing, which was to lay down 2 rules for Denji in exchange for turning Yoru back. The first rule was for him to let Nayuta eat ice cream every day. And second, well, to stop being friendly with Asa. Nayuta be sounding like an Asian mom for real, because it definitely sounds like she's controlling Denji a bit, but she also has his best interests at heart. And to protect him further, Nayuta even says she'd alter Asa's memories into thinking she got stood up by Denji rather than coming to the house. Denji doesn't protest, even if he knows Asa will probably hate him because Nayuta is his priority. However, it does look like Denji is a bit disappointed with this situation. Like Yoru said, Asa and Denji had hit it off quite well during the Eternity Devil's attack at the aquarium. She even reminded him of Power in chapter 116, who was as close as anyone came to being a best friend for Denji. I mean, he's still taking care of Meowie as seen in chapter 120. Anyway, Denji might try to find a loophole in Nayuta's rule in the future, but for now, Asa took this situation pretty well. All the better for her because she likes solitude, and the only reason for her attraction to Denji anyway was because of her hormones. Asa was clearly hurt by being stood up by the boy she liked. This was the second time she realized that Denji didn't see her romantically, the first being when Yoru couldn't turn him into a sword. Seeing how Fujimoto is painting the picture of how teenage infatuation goes, Asa is going through the pain of unrequited love. She misinterpreted signals and concluded she was in love with Denji, who also liked her back. But having to face this reality is embarrassing and hurtful for her, which is why she's explaining it all away even though she's not fine with it. But with that one panel, I'm pretty sure you all reacted like this. And what better than a rebound, because my man Yoshida seems like he saw the chance and took it. I mean,
Bro, if I was a girl, legs wide open, bro.
But it is pretty fishy how Yoshida just shows up everywhere Denji and Asa are involved, such as the Devil Hunter Squad, the aquarium, and now here as well. He did deny Yoru's advances when she first asked him out, but was that him just playing hard to get? If he does actually want to date Asa, then he's because he will end up turning into a weapon too. Moreover, something about Fami eyeing Yoshida up in chapter 117 doesn't really bode well for Denji or Asa. We can only wait and see what Fujimoto is cooking, but for now, enjoy more peak fiction with our video discussing how Asa fell in love with Denji in the first place.